morning and welcome to Friday Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping up the week. And, you know, it started out as a crappy week. Going to finish as a crappy week. We got, gold and silver are higher today. But we are having some issues with our YouTube streaming computer, which means hopefully today only, you'll only, for those of you that listen via YouTube, you will not be able to see my beautiful face. I know that's depressing because, I'm the good looking one. But apparently we are still able to do audio, just no YouTube video, today. Long story short, let's just say the laptop got overly hot and doesn't want to reboot. So anyway, there you have it. That's what I've been working on this problem now for the last 30 minutes. I put the laptop in the freezer, and then my tech guy said, dude, don't put it in the freezer. Take it out of the freezer. Just unplug it. There you have it. 800-951-0592. AllAmericanGold.com is the website. And it's also, it is weird because that same computer, it allows Jason and I to see each other. Because, I'm in Arizona, Jason's in Colorado. So it's been a while. This is like the old way that we used to do shows, Jason.
Yeah, we'll have to get Dominic to take a copy of the audio show and post that on the website for all the people that are used to watching it the old way. We've only been doing video for several months, so it's still pretty new. So, but maybe we'll get the audio telecast onto the YouTube site so that at least people can hear it all throughout the country.
Yep, that's what he's going to do. So, anyhow, there you have it. It is Friday, so we've survived another week. We had more retail earnings out, and they weren't great. Again, Walmart has been the lone exception in, of course, saying, hey, it was predominantly people coming to Walmart to buy food. We had Ross. Ross, you dress for less. Apparently, it wasn't less enough, but Ross is saying that, hey, we're holding out hope that same-store sales, hopefully they won't be too bad. And then Foot Locker was the other, and that one was really ugly. Foot Locker shares down 25%. As they missed earnings by a wide margin. I think next week we get Macy's, Kohl's, Nordstrom's. But the retail side of things, Jason, obviously a clear indication that the consumer has slowed.
Yeah, I heard that Foot Locker number on the little news clip before he got on the air. So it's another one of those brick and mortar retailers that are just not cutting it, Joe. And it's I guess a brave new world, right? And with what's going on with the debt and the inflation and the long in the tooth monetary system that we've been running since essentially World War II. It's like everything seems to be just coming to a head here in the next months and maybe a couple of years, Joe. And this is why you buy gold and silver. You buy gold and silver because these things happen in cycles. These boom and bust cycles happen every few years, and then there's bigger cycles that happen over 80 years. We're kind of coming to the end of one of those, Joe, and who knows what it's going to look like at the back end of what they're planning. And gold and silver will laugh it off. It'll shrug it off. It's a commodity. It's a thing. It's not a made-up idea. Money is a made-up idea. Gold is something that is pulled out of the ground, and it's essentially a part of the earth. And there's only so much of it for each person, and it has inherent intrinsic value. And that's why you should hold it, Joe. That's why you should hold it. It's your rock of protection when it comes to financial chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. 800-951-0592 is our toll-free number. I'm going to tell everybody right now. We have an incredible silver $50 special that is coming up next. And I'm going to tell everybody this as well. We'll do it right after the break. I just got handed a note from Brittany. Unfortunately, listen, you can try. I would not wait on this. When we do it, call and get those orders in because supplies are going to be extremely limited. We're working on this deal right now, trying to get this thing put to bed. So, you know what started out as a crappy Friday, turning into maybe, hey, this is going to be a great day, especially for people looking to get silver put away. The premiums have been coming down, and today, $0.50, which has been just incredibly expensive. I mean, think about this. For a good part of the year, $0.50 premiums were equal to or higher than Silver Eagle premiums. So we've got a great special on $0.50 coming up right after this. And then we'll talk, too, about more money continues to flow out of these banks, which really puts us in a precarious situation because yesterday, if you want to believe some of these Fed governors, they're saying, hey, rates may still have to go higher. And now these banks, the run is continuing. The Fed's balance sheet continuing to get bigger as more and more banks have to go to the Fed window. Jason, this could really, I think the second half of this year is going to be a very interesting second half. Things could get really ugly. Things could get just regularly ugly. And then there's that small sliver of hope that somehow we squeak by.
I'm going to stick with it's just going to grind slowly worse and just keep grinding slowly worse until we hit an emergency that's really massive. And whether that's this year or next year, it's going to happen pretty soon, Joe. And this is why you buy it now while it's cheap now.
800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Friday. The Dow is down. The NASDAQ is down. The S&P's up a few dollars. Gold's up 13, 14. Gold's up 15 now, 19.75. Silver's up 27. Let's call it 30 cents now, 23.80. This market recap brought to you, our friends at Y Refi. Just so you know, Jay Powell's talking right now, so hopefully we'll get some information as to what he's saying. Obviously, it sounds like to me he's walking back what the Dallas Fed governor said yesterday. But if you're tired of dealing with this, and we know, listen, diversification is going to be the key here. You got to have gold and silver. Whatever you think you need to have in gold and silver put away, I'd say double it. That's just what I'm talking. Double it, because you're gonna need it. Wall Street, everybody that I trust. Now they can be wrong, but the next 10 years is not going to be kind. In other words, there's a very good probability 10 years from today we could be right here. Check out our friends at Y Refi. You get up to 10.25%. We've talked about them a ton. You know what you need to do. Invest. That's the word invest, the letter Y, REFY.com, or call them at 888-Y-REFI-24, 888-Y-REFI-24. Man, I wish I knew what Jay Powell was saying. Gold is up 20. 1980, silver's up 50 cents, back to $24. Here's what I've got. It's an incredible opportunity on rolls of silver $half. Right now, silver $half, we're $265 a roll this morning. Now, silver, literally 3 minutes ago, was about even. Right now it's up 50 cents, so probably was going to be higher than that. I've got an opportunity of a lifetime here because I don't know, and like I said, I've been doing this over 20 years. I don't know if we've ever had a situation like this. But for today, rolls 1 through 49 at $250. That would make a roll of silver $half the same price as a roll of silver quarters or 2 rolls of silver dimes. And silver half dollars always have a premium. If you buy 50 rolls or more, by the way, 50 rolls is a half a bag, 50 rolls or more, you can buy silver half dollars for less than dimes and quarters, $245 a roll. So, again, 1 through 49. Silver half dollars will be the same price as quarters and dimes at $250 a roll. You buy 50 rolls or more, Jason, $245. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I've got 2.5 bags worth. Okay, so that's 250 rolls. After that, silver half dollars will be $270 a roll. So a great day to save, a great opportunity. Again, I don't know that, I'm sure that some point in the 20 years, maybe it's happened before, but buying half dollars for less than dimes and quarters, Jason, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and if you're tickled by this, you're interested, you just don't know for sure if you're going to call, you really just don't even question it. We always get a guy when it comes to these junk silver specials that will come in and just buy a bag. And if there's 250 rolls, that means 100 rolls could disappear with one customer. So with half dollars being this cheap and comparable to quarters and dimes, which in the future this won't happen anymore, you might want to, if you want to get your roll, if you're one of those guys that can buy your roll quick. If you're one of those guys that likes to buy the 10 to 15 rolls, if you want to get the 50, I suggest jumping on it quick, because once one of those guys that listens once in a while just, well, wait a minute, what did he just say here? Oh, give me 100 rolls, right, Joe? It just disappears just like that.
I'll be shocked if they're not all gone. This is huge. I mean, think about this. Silver half dollars were $300 a roll. I want to say maybe got to $310 in the last couple of weeks. So this is incredible here. And it looks like, again, this was very technically profit-taking on gold and silver. Yesterday we talked about gold. 1950 was kind of that support level. Got to 1952 close enough. Rallying big here today. Silver's rallying big as well. Put them away. 800-951-0592. Silver half dollars. The same stinking price as quarters and dimes. And if you order 50 rolls or more, you actually get to buy half dollars for less than quarters and dimes today. 800-951-0592. That is the number to call. And again, we've been inundated with all of these Fed governors talking, and now it's Jay Powell right now as we speak. And Jason, my guess is he's walking back the harsh talk, if you will, from the Dallas Fed president yesterday.
That very likely could be, yeah. It's and I don't know how these guys operate behind the camera when they're talking to each other. You never know what their scheme they're pulling, whether this is intentional or if this is somebody popped off that wasn't supposed to. But markets will react to whatever, Joe, if it's an accident or if it's on purpose. But one more thing about the junk silver, we don't say this as often as we probably should, Joe, that a lot of people are like, oh, how much silver? And, when you get a roll of half dollars, it's got 7.15 ounces of silver, and the calculations are confusing. But if you want to know how much an ounce of silver is in junk silver, it's $1.40 face value. We don't say that enough, I don't think. It kind of makes it easier for people to calculate somewhat. A $10 roll of half dollars, well, if you added another $4, $14, that'd be 10 ounces of silver. If you had $140 face value of these half dollars, that's 100 ounces of silver. So it's some people, they come in and meet for me and their first time and they're trying to find out silver and they're comparing silver eagles to junk silver, and sometimes it's easier to calculate it. It's $1.40 face value is 1 ounce of silver. And hopefully that'll clear some of that up. Joe, you get like 140 rolls, I guess, and that's $140. That'd be 100 ounces of silver today.
Well, 140 rolls would be over 1,000 ounces of silver.
Oh, excuse me, 1,000 ounces. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, sorry. Misspoke.
I'm going, what? Wait a minute. No. So 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. This is just came up. We jumped on it. We got a call from our bullion bank in California. And said, hey, here's what I've got, and this is it. You take it or leave it, and we took it. Silver $50. Silver $50 for the same price as silver dimes and quarters. But if you buy 50 rolls or more, it'll be less than the dimes and quarters. $250 a roll. 1 through 49. If you get to that 50 roll level, 50 rolls or more, then it's at $245 a roll. And of course, 50 rolls is a half bag, 100 rolls is a full bag. If you got a full bag, a $50, it's 715 ounces of silver at 800-951-0592. Take the time, add them to your portfolio. They're going to go quickly, as Jason said. Somebody's going to come up and say, give me a bag, right? And if two people say, give me a bag, hey, Jason, we're down to 50 rolls. It just goes that fast.
That's true, yeah. Sometimes we sell more product than other days, but this is one of those where people are going to hear about this over the course of this next hour, and they're just going to buy it up. So I would not wait. If this is one of those where if you're driving, go ahead and pull on over, be safe, and call your order in now. Because it's cool. Once you make the call, you're locked into the price. You're guaranteed those rolls at that price. It's not going to move on you. And as soon as we get it shipped to the offices in Arizona and Colorado, you can pick it up. Or if you're somebody that's outside of Colorado and Arizona, we'll ship it to you. But this is one of those where you pull over and make the order, Joe.
Yeah, you know what? I don't say that very often. But, yeah, this is definitely a pull over and make the order type of special today, because it just doesn't happen, especially with the $50. You just don't get this opportunity very, very much, if at all. 800-951-0592. You know, I'm out on some of these websites. I'm seeing $50 on sale at $280 a roll. I'm seeing them at $320 a roll. Things of that age. So we've got them at $250, 50 rolls or more, $245. And remember, unlike the other guys, we don't cherry pick these bags. So we don't pick out the walkers. We don't pick out the better looking ones. We don't do any of that stuff. 800-951-0592. Take the time. Keep adding to those portfolios. I will say this. There is job cuts out today. Oracle announcing they're laying off 3,000 more workers. We also heard from Bank of America today, and this one was a little disturbing. Apparently, Bank of America gave the FBI access to January 6th bank records without customer knowledge and without warrants, Jason. And again, this is just another example of of what's happening with government now as government continues to creep and creep and creep. And all of a sudden, the American citizen is turning into public enemy number one. And I'm not surprised. You know, we talk about, well, in Canada, and I know a lot of people are like, well, that's Canada. You know, they donated to these truckers, got their accounts frozen. Apparently, at least, you know, if Bank of America did it, did J.P. Morgan do it? Did Wells Fargo do it? I don't know. I don't know that they did or didn't. My guess is, because normally how these big banks operate, one does it, they all do it. I don't know if that was the case. But definitely in the January 6th, Bank of America, according to the whistleblower, with no directive, data mined its own customer base and turned that information over to the FBI. So, Jason, having money in these banks, not only do you have to worry about are you going to have access, by the way, a nice article on All American Gold today about banks doing exactly what we said. At any moment in time, they can just say, you know what, Nat, you don't get to have access to your money. And I don't know why people think that would be any different. We saw that play out in Greece. We saw it play out in Cyprus. Jason, if it gets bad enough, I will guarantee you these banks will prevent you from getting your money out of there.
Yeah, here in the FBI have information coming from your bank accounts. I mean, the next step is if the FBI doesn't get whatever they're looking for, but they see anything that they think is suspicious, probably just gets handed off to the IRS and their 87,000 new agents. So, yeah, bank accounts are definitely a form of surveillance now, Joe. It's I just tread lightly, right, Joe?
Well, you know what's interesting? And, by the way, Representative Dan Bishop brought this to the floor in Congress. They're saying, here's what they're alleging. They're alleging that that Bank of America had acted entirely on its own accord and did this on their own and then turned it over to the FBI. Now it gets even creepier, right? It would be one thing if the FBI asked them, but they're saying they didn't even ask. Bank of America did it on their own.